everyone. Today we will discuss the dark night of the soul and some kind of existential depression. And it's a process in our life that things start to, as if like things coming to an end and life loses its meaning. Um, Very common that relationship that been big part of our life that we thought going to last forever suddenly coming to an end. For some people, it can be some sort of a crisis of losing a job, ending a relationship, a meaningful relationship, divorce, illness, accident, big things that just kind of woof, reality feels different than before. It's kind of a time that we're losing our persona. But anyway, the persona, if you think about it, is the ego. This is why the yogi wouldn't call it necessarily the dark night of the soul. They might call it the death of the ego. Because actually, if you think about it, the soul's quite happy there because we are aligning ourselves to what we really truly are. So it's actually more aligned with our soul purpose, with what we came to be in this world, if we want to call it Dharma. So we will start with just a moment of kind of centering, grounding the feet on the earth, spreading the toes, keeping both feet on the ground, pressing the heels down. And then drop the shoulders a little bit, let them soften, let the neck be a little bit longer, the jaws relax, the tongue relax. The teeth can be slightly apart, the lips slightly apart. Just check on yourself where you are right now. How is the breath? How is the belly? How are you feeling inside? In Zen, they call it, what's the weather? Is it stormy? Is it calm, sunny day? Is it a bit drizzly? There's many experiences happening in us. Maybe one of them is more on the surface, so just be with that for a moment, honor that. That's actually very much connected to what we talk about today. Because the healing of going through that healing crisis we call the dark night of the soul is surrender. Just allowing what is to be. Welcoming all the parts, all the experiences that we're going through life. The less we resist, less painful it is. And in the dark night, there is pain, for sure. Also in birth, there is pain. Also in making love, there is pain. Life can be painful, but suffering is optional. If we're letting pain be pain, there's less suffering. And then it's just an experience. Just sit with that for a moment in silence. So when you're ready, open your mouth. So there is a lot of depression in the world right now. I mean, the numbers, the statistics are quite scary. And I wanted to bring it into the conversation of the dark night of the soul because, yes, sometimes depression is purely biological. There is like deficiency in serotonin and some sort of imbalances in the brain that are biological. Um, yes, sometimes it can be fixed. Even that can be or not fixed, or at least improved dramatically with anti-inflammatory food and with definitely vitamin B that's kind of responsible for the nervous systems, and eating well and having good routines. Exercise can release serotonin. It's much more effective than any antidepressant. And again, I'm not talking about like serious condition that there is total imbalance in the brain and it's completely biological. I'm talking about the majority of cases. And but I also feel that depression is a form of a dark night of the soul. And a dark night of the soul, this stage in our life that for a lot of women is around menopause, by the way. So big changes hormonally, and as we changing from one persona, like the householder, the taking care of the kids, the pleasing everyone, making everybody happy because we're full of progesterone, and then we kind of low progesterone, less need to please everyone, and more the need to go inside and ask questions: who am I? And in this processes, for a woman, it can definitely, from my work, it's definitely around menopause. Um, but there's other stages. I mean, I've been through quite a few of those. So there's a car accident, there was a big illness, there was divorce, death of my dad. All those are forms of initiation. And so different people experiencing it in different times in their lives. And again, it's usually around crisis. It's usually a healing crisis. And it can feel depressing because it's very sad time. The way we saw the world, the way we knew it, coming to an end. And it's scary. And it's less the fear of the unknown, because we don't know what the unknown will bring. It's more the fear of losing what we know, the holding into what we know, where we have control. We never have control. So let's ease into that. The depression that we're talking here is exactly that. It's that stage that I'm losing my identity. And that's also Jung talking about it in that. So it's kind of like we projected on the world some sort of a fantasy, what we wanted to see, what we wanted to believe life is. And then the projection is kind of, the movie's kind of coming to an end, and the curtain is closing at the end of the show. And then we're left with the understanding that it was just a movie that we created in our heads. That's quite hard to swallow. And the yogis and the mystics would say, yes, it's hard for the ego. It's not hard for the soul. Because the soul can thrive, because we can start finally live truth. The yogis call it satya. We can see things for what they are, beyond the veil. But in all stories and mythologies, when we're going into the underground, when Inanna is being taken into the underworld by the goddess, if you want, by the gods, she will have to stay there. She can't rise prematurely. She have to go through the process of shedding, of letting go or letting die to what is not serving her rebirth, um, rising to her full potential. The yogis will call it dharma. So I will constantly kind of play with from like more European mysticism, alchemist, that Jung is very much inspired by, to the yogis tradition, which is slightly different wording, but I feel that it's the same principle. So that projection is what the yogis call the Maya, the illusion. In in that illusion, actually, what starts to happen is that we waking up back into the union of things, the you know, that from the Maya, from the illusion of separateness, from the illusion that I am that and this is it and this is him and he's like that and you know and she's like that. I'm like, okay, none of what I experienced. Like you could be married to someone for 50, 40 years and then boom, they cheat on you. Boom, they're going with I don't know, and they behave in a weird way. And you're like, who is this person? It's a person you created in your head. Maybe all this time he was also this other person. Okay. But the good thing is that as we're waking up to higher truth, after going through the death, the depression, and hopefully with support, because the hero's journey when he's leaving the village, if you had kind of the archetypal journey of humans, mainly men, by Joseph Campbell. I will the heroine's journey is the Inanna. It's slightly different. She's going into the underworld. She's not going into the woods to save the princess and come back with a reward. She's actually just going down and staying down until she's fully tempered. She's kind of going through some sort of a spiritual operation, initiation, both initiations. Initiation's always tough because the ego must die. So this is what they do in the rite of passage in many ancient cultures, right? They take them into the woods and they scare them to death to remind them to be humble, that they come from the earth and they go back to the earth. And while they're here, they need to take care of the earth, right? This is kind of the main message the boy is getting when they're going through rite of passage. So when we're going through that naturally in our life, because we don't have the elders that will take us into an organized initiation, then life would throw on us cancer, losing a job, losing meaning, blah, 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 right? So the journey of the man, usually, the hero's journey by Joseph Campbell, he will get a calling. Something will tell him, we're changing, come with me. But he will not take the call, right? And then something quite bad will happen that he will have to take the call. He will have to leave the comfort zone and go into the unknown. And then there, he will have to go through scary forests with demons and all of that. So meeting the shadow, the doubts, the fears, the insecurities, the parts of himself that he didn't accept and acknowledge, which is what Jung's calling um, the meeting the shadows, right? So making peace with the shadows, acknowledging that you are that shadow. Then you stop projecting it on the world, right? You stop that projections, that fantasies, because you are a complete human being. You have light, you have dark, and you're okay with that. So he's meeting all of those. And then he will always have on the journey help. And this is why when you're going through one of those dark night of the soul, don't feel that you have to do it alone. Yes, the journey is you, your soul, with the great mystery. But there is always somebody there who will be the elders of the tribe, usually. If it will be your therapist, if it will be a group of people that you call a sangha, that they hold you in tough times and in good times, right? You need support system. And then you will go through those tough moments. So in the stories, there will, in the mythology, will be the wizard or the witch, you know, the white witch or the fairy or whatever will come and kind of save the day in the forest, move him from all those demons, and then he will go out and he gets such a high awareness of himself that he will get the reward, which is the princess that he's saving and taking back to the village. And that back to the village is essential to the journey because he's coming and sharing his journey. I've been through the dark moments, I've been helped, I got the message, and I received new awareness of life. I grew, I matured with my darkness and my light. And now I'm coming back with a gift to the village. And I'm also sharing the journey to inspire others. So when they go on that journey, because we're all going to go through this journey, they are inspired. They have a little bit more skills. Okay, so with the feminine, it's a little bit different. So the woman will be taken. She will be taken into the underworld and she can't move till she's ready. And when she will be ready, and that's the surrender that you need for that journey. Basically, that is your skill to go through it. I will talk about that. And then when she's ready, she will rise again, this time aligned with her value, the solution, the way to deal with it. When the dark night of the soul comes, it comes and it's bigger than you. And more you're gonna, I remember when I was laying down in the hospital, almost dead, and I was very young. I was yogini, you know, I was after a very stressful, burnt out job in TV, but I was laying down, almost dead, young, beautiful, boom, you know, everything was just taken away from me. You know, the love of my life, blah, 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 all of it. The whole story I created in my head of what is the perfect life for me was like gone. And I remember laying down there and hearing, why me? The victim. Now, let me tell you something about the victim. It will never take you anywhere. It's never useful. You know, holding yourself in compassion and saying, oh, sweetie, you're going through that. I'm really sorry. Yes. But why me? No. There's never room for that because there's nothing special with us. We're all going to go through tough moments. And the thing is that those cracks is what allow the light in, as Leonard Cohen said. It's the brokenness that makes us strong. It's the flawness that makes us wonderful humans, healers, and amazing, inspiring humans on earth. It's those that go through the toughest journey are the most inspiring. So I remember hearing that, and I remember very quickly coming out of it and saying, okay, that's what's going on. Okay. It was depressing. It was sad. It's very sad to lose all of that. There's grief. There's deep grief in that process. But the quicker you're willing to surrender, the better. Because it's like, if you think about it, there is a really fast river and you're trying to hold to the shore. It's going to knock you again and again. It's going to be painful and dangerous. Jung actually talking about it. That those that don't let go, those that don't surrender to that, those that don't go with it, can create illness after illness after illness till they die. Can lose thing again and again and again till something quite bad happens. So the quicker you do it, the better. You doing it with somebody that know how to hold you there, the better. Because it's very dangerous, not only that you go through it on your own because it's really tough, also because they can get you out of it quicker. because there is a point that the initiation is over and you need somebody to pull you out. In tribal societies, when you go through the initiation, you're done, you're coming back to the village, and then the whole village is welcoming you with big celebration, and they're all calling your name and welcoming you back. And then the soul know that it's over. And you know those people that you say, are they attracted to dramas, or are they, they're always attracting problems to themselves, or you see people like, they coming from, I don't know, months of cancer therapy, or they lose one job and then they lose another job, then one thing after the other happens to them. It can be part of the initiation, but sometimes it can also be that nobody welcomed them back. So the soul thinking that that is part of the initiation, and the initiation have to come to a closure. So it's good to be in a responsible somebody. They've been there, done it, and they know what they're doing, and they can help you to come back. You don't get lost in that. Because the dark night of the soul is just a small patch on the way out to the light, to rebirth. We're here to come back. Not your day. Surrender. Surrender that this is what's happening to you. Surrender to what is happening to you. Just see it for what it is. Welcome it as an experience. Surrender to the great mystery. Just say, shape my life. I'm giving it all to you. You could add gently, please. You can. Remember to add that. Spiritual awakening, and we're awakening into our highest potential and our dharma, and is and to our purpose is to give ourselves to a greater force, and then you become that force. And I will finish with a sentence that my teacher Malita Masoma said, and I love quoting him. He said, "Here I am, I know nothing, but at least I'm showing up. Showing up with all my inabilities qualifies me to be hired by the Spirit to deliver." When you allowing this great force to shape you, to temper you, and to bring you from the dark moments into the highest potential of what you came to be, to your true self, you become a force of that greatness. You become that greatness. That's a beautiful thing. Lots of love, Sangha. I will close that. I will take some time for questions, and enjoy and keep in touch and let me know how you're doing. I would love some feedback. If you're going through a dark night or something helped you on dark nights before, if you're going through depression, if you're going through anything, just let me know how it's going and put in the comments. Let's open a conversation here. It's important to be there for each other and to feel that you're not alone. Sending love. I'm Rena Golan, if you don't know my name, and I'm a mentor. I'm a yogini. I work with Ayurvedic lifestyle medicine. I hold retreat. I mentor people one-on-one. And I love you, and I'm here for you, and we're all in it together.